Well, this is it. Another episode of Click Culture.
Yeah, and 2025 is rapidly approaching.
Wrapping up quick.
This could be the year photography dies.
You think so?
You know, AI is just encroaching on photography and all these terrible things seem to be happening.
That's what we hear. But I think you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
If you think that, honestly, like,
I'm pretty excited about some of the things that I'm seeing in AI. Not have to make an AI picture, but the things we're seeing, our cameras, our lenses.
Totally.
Like, how many new lenses just came out? Like,
boatload.
You're talking about the golden age of photography. Yep. We keep saying we live in it. I think 2025 is going to be the golden age of photography.
Yeah, I don't think it's the year photography is going to die. Like you said, I'm super excited about what we have going on personally. Yeah. Right, there's a lot of great stuff happening. It's going to be a really good year, technology-wise, industry-wise. You know, there's the big conferences are coming up, WPPI, Launching USA. There's a lot of good stuff going on in our industry and within the culture.
2025, let's do a cliche thing. Is it going to make you bitter or better? I don't know.
But hey, we're back here again for the holidays and just really, really excited about what's coming up on this episode of Click Culture.
I'm pretty excited. So we are going to, a lot of people have been asking us questions the last couple of months. We've been really busy. And you the other day called me and said, hey, find five questions that people keep asking you and write them down. And you did the same thing. So we're going to answer your questions.
We've got that coming up. But stay tuned to the end of this episode because we are going through the 2024 stocking stuffer and extravaganza.
Have a clue what you put on your list. So I want to see what you're going to stuff in your stocking.
So we each came up with two things that we think every photographer should have their stocking stuffed with. And we will show that to you. But hang on to the end.
Thanks.
But speaking of being excited, right? Look at what we have in front of us today. Check out this beautiful sushi.
Well, because you know how much I love nigiri, and you're not the biggest
nigiri fan, but we got that. So if you don't know, if you haven't hung out with the Chopstick guys before here online, you're probably wondering, like, why are these two bald guys here with their chopsticks and their sushi talking about cameras? Well, there's only one thing that we love more than eating food with chopsticks, and that's photography.
That's right.
And we are known as the Chopstick guys, and we love, you're going right in for the nigiri. So you're going for that.
Oh, totally. And you know what? Being a chopstick guy, I'm going to tell you, it is perfectly okay with this nigiri to use your fingers, use your hands. I've seen it by the guy that is the main guy in Japan.
Nice.
So you're supposed to dip. If you're going to use soy sauce, just the fish, you don't let the sushi rice soak it up.
That's good. You're telling me the quality of it?
That's great.
This was very good. So today we have nigiri. It's salmon. We've got a spicy tuna and a regular tuna. So I think it's a great mix today.
There we go.
So let's get on to those questions here. You know, this is pretty good stuff. I feel like I have it all stuck in my teeth.
I do too. I'm a little concerned that people are going to look at my teeth and see my teeth.
So, hey, photo questions from you that we've been getting. So we've been like slammed with questions. Every day my email is like popping up. I've got my 5 here.
Okay. I got my 5 there.
You want to go first? So these are just going to be questions that you guys have asked us personally, whether you've been part of one of our workshops and asking us a question, or if you've written to us, or people commenting into our videos. So we just got a list of them. We're going to talk about them and see what you think about these questions. See what you think about the answers too.
Okay. Well, my first one is, what child is... Oh, sorry. That's my Christmas playlist. Sorry. Okay. Why don't you guys ever use tripods?
So that's a pretty funny thing. First, we have to tell them that we
do use tripods.
We do. Just to hold up our video camera, right?
Exactly. When we're shooting video, like now.
So why don't you answer this question, actually?
So here's what's...
While I have a piece of...
Here's what's very funny is when I'm shooting portraits, I never use a...
Have you tried that spicy tuna one?
It is. That's why I'm kind of avoiding it right now because it's going to be hard to talk. But so 90% of the time when I'm doing portraits, it's handheld because I'm moving my lens in and out. I shoot a lot of zoom lenses. I do shoot primes, but a lot of zoom lenses because I'm trying to adjust for the situation. When we're shooting things like more static headshots, school portraits, it's always on a tripod. But the funny thing is, if you were to be in my office last night, you would find that I just received in the mail a giant gimbal head for my big tripod because I'm getting ready to go to Costa Rica and shoot some birds. another, I'm going to use a tripod. So I'm not
impressed.
I was in the front room yesterday shooting with this crazy gimbal. It's kind of fun to play with, but I'm not opposed to a tripod. It just doesn't fit my style of shooting when it comes to portraiture. And if it's something that you do all the time, man, more power to you. I always tell the story of my friend John when he taught me photography. He said, I'll teach you photography, but your camera has to be, every picture you take for the first 30 days has to be on a tripod.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, it's because it's got to be sharp. And he was like, no, because I want you to have to go through the process of having to set it up. It's going to be hard. You can't just go, didn't work, I'm moving. You're going to go, didn't work, I'm going to try to make an adjustment because I'm too lazy to move my... So it's a great thing to use.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It just doesn't fit my style. The thing with the tripod, I use it all the time if I'm doing like product photography, that kind of thing, all the time. But for our portrait work, we're more nimble, right?
Yeah.
Move it out. So
your next question.
It did. Mine just went away. Here we go. Here's what I got actually just the other day.
Okay.
2 days ago. How do you get people to feel comfortable in front of your camera?
There you go.
Which is a great question. And so this person that asked it, she said, I struggle with that. And here was my answer, right? Straight off the bat. I said, I don't start taking pictures until they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it gets really awkward. If we come out to a photo shoot, I'm doing a family shoot tomorrow. Right. So if we're going to do this family shoot, I'm not going to take out the camera and just start shooting them because the kids are still going squirrely and the parents are, trying to get the kids under control. But if I just sit there and start talking to them and just like, we're just talking about the day, talking about the weather, it can be talking about anything, talking about how cute the kids are, that kind of stuff. I'll actually be shooting at that time, but I'm not doing the real shoot. But some of the shoots shots I get during that time are incredible. But warm it up. And that goes for any type of shooting, whether you're doing humanitarian photography, if you're doing senior portraits, hang out. It's the hangout time.
Yeah.
In fact, what I do on the engagement shoots is a lot of times I'll bring like a picnic basket and we'll sit there and we'll have a little picnic.
You bring food for yourself.
Well, yes. The wine and cheese session for me, no. But really, because we're sitting at that table and just interacting, by the time we're taking out the camera, they're already relaxed, right?
So here's what's really funny. First thing I thought of is, well, what was the word? Awkward, or was it, what'd you have on there? How do you feel? Make them feel comfortable. What little unknown fact, right? People go, yeah, you guys are extroverts and you're out in public and you're talking to people all the time. You know what? When I go to shoot a senior portrait, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't know how you ever get rid of that as a photographer. Yes, I go in with this, confidence. I know what I'm doing, but I'm also very uncomfortable myself. It just what you said, that first few minutes, a lot of times I'll just tell them.
Awkward for everybody.
What do we always tell everybody? It's the bullpen. I'm warming up. I do that.
Totally.
Not because I think they're uncomfortable, because I'm uncomfortable. And I don't want them to go, what is he doing?
Yep.
And they're not thinking that, but I'm thinking that. So
big time.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. What else you got?
All right. So question number 2. So this one I like 4 times, and it's because we're, sharing a lot of information about think tank bags this year, but it's, what is the right size camera bag? I have 2 questions that's kind of general this way, not towards bags, but what's the right size bag? We hear that all the time. Should I get the 43?
One to have with you.
The 45 liter? Should I get the 35 liter? Is a 15 good enough? I can't answer that for you.
No. I think it comes down to what do you need to carry, right? If you're carrying a 300 millimeter lens, you need a big bag, right? If you're carrying your 24-70, in a body, you don't need a big bag.
Yeah.
What works for us
is a
35 liter.
It is. It seems to be the perfect size. Doesn't matter who's making it. But I'll throw another caveat is, we have spider holsters. We always say that's our favorite piece of gear, photo gear. But one of the things with the spider holster is, right, we have a pin sticks out 2 inches out of the bottom of your camera. Yep. So all of my other backpacks, so this has been an issue for me. It's been an issue for you. I'll say the one brand that we've never had any type of relationship with. I love my Getso backpack, and I've taken it all over the world. But when I stick that thing in with that pin on, it rocks my camera sideways and it sticks above the zippers. So I'm always zipping that thing. It's harder to zip it closed. I love my think tank bag because the depth of that bag is, it just swallows up my camera. Yep. And I just know that it's safe under there. It's not being pushed against on the top. So
how many camera bags do you have? Watching this right now.
I guarantee you I have more.
Yes, we've got a lot of bags between us, but the 35 liter fits everything for an everyday carry bag.
It does.
And beyond.
Yeah. Somebody recently asked to me, like, should I get a 45? What would you tell them?
I would say, try carrying it.
That's the problem.
Because if you start loading up a 45 liter bag with your gear, you can't lift it off the ground. The thing is super heavy. And if you're going to be carrying it all day long, no, thank you.
Yeah. You've always made fun of me with my Wander duffel that I've had for so long because it's so huge. But guess what? When it's that big, I fill it.
Yeah.
I can go, oh, I still have room. I have an extra slot. I'm going to put this stuff I'm never going to use. And then I'm just weighted down. So if you want to be weighted down, buy the big bag.
100%.
Like,
so let's see what we got coming up next. So
I'm going to have another piece.
Do it here. So here's a question. This was from Dave. What is the secret to making your photos stand out in a world flooded with images? Man, are we seeing that like crazy right now? We were actually talking about that the other day. Just that you go on Instagram, you go anywhere. The whole social media world is just filled with images and videos now. Like there's very little fun information. It's either ads, credible pictures that are all fake, and just trying to figure out like how do you get your stuff seen? And that's a hard question to answer because I don't really know the answer. We ask ourselves that, like how do we get ourselves seen? How do we get our product seen? How do we get people to see what we do? And I think one thing I have noticed. So if you're scrolling down the Instagram feed, right, and you're just doing that infinite scroll, I'm starting to stop on the pictures that look real, right? Because right now it's getting easier and easier to figure out, okay, that's fake, that's AI, that's got,
it's almost too good.
It's too good, right? And so when that picture goes, that's a real person that was standing in front of that camera, it grabs my attention. And so that's one thing that's stuck in the back of my mind is I got to make sure that I'm doing photo shoots that are my style. I don't care. Well, I do care. I should maybe back up a little bit. But really, I shouldn't care what other people are thinking as long as I'm going after my client because of my style.
Because then I have to ask the question of just the question, we ask this all the time. So it's not against what this person asked.
Yep.
How do I get my stuff to stand out and be seen? Okay. And get what, a like on Instagram? What does that really right? do? Like
hit a dopamine.
It is. And I love it. And so I'm not saying like, oh yeah, this is, you're an odd person.
Yep.
Like we all have egos. We all want people to like our photos, but in the grand scheme of it, does it make you a better photographer? No. Does it mean you're a great or, a lesser photographer? You don't get the likes. No, it's, I think reevaluating what you're trying to do. There's days where I have to convince myself, well, I do photography for a business. I need people to see my images. And that is true. But how do I stand out amongst the other ones?
Yep.
I think you're right. I think it's just being true to who you are. Because if I try to make an image that stands out, it's probably not going to be my style. And then someone's hiring me based on an image that I can't reproduce or I don't want to reproduce. So,
yeah, good. Okay.
Oh, it went to sleep again. So, all right. So here's one. And two people asked me this last week, and I rewrote it myself. But is there an alternative to Lightroom and Photoshop?
No.
One person's like, can I cancel my subscription? Do you think this is going to be the one? So, is there an alternative standalone? For me, no. Right? And it's not because I think that the products aren't good enough or anything like that. I'm too invested in my knowledge of Photoshop. To where every time I pull,
I was going to say it wasn't a fair answer until you.
Yeah, until I'll open something like Luminar. Incredible product. Could you make it your standalone? Yes, you could. Do I want to make it mine? Right now, I don't, because I know too many tips and tricks and shortcuts in Photoshop to where I don't want to learn a new workflow.
True.
And so if you're new to photography and you're like, I don't get Lightroom, I don't get Photoshop, man, Luminar's a great answer, right? You and I have been playing with Evoto software lately,
which we love.
Oh my God. But is it, does it an alternative to Photoshop.
Is it the catch-all? No.
No. If you're a wedding photographer like we do, are you a senior portrait like we do? Are you doing engagement sessions like we do?
Yep.
eVoto does have some answers that are very practical for us. So.
To me, so you're talking about a lot of the AI tools, right? Why?
Correct.
And that's what some of these programs like eVoto are really AI based. They are great for the frosting or the seasoning on your picture, right? Luminar, we both use that every day.
Yep. As like a filter.
Yeah. And it's
over the top.
Again, it's the seasoning on the picture, right? Or the frosting just to finish the cake. And I don't think there's an alternative to say, I am not going to go and use Lightroom or Photoshop ever again.
Yeah.
It's just not in our workflow.
No.
But for you, it might be, right? I think you look at something like Luminar AI, it's a really good tool.
It is.
Right? A really good tool.
We have a friend that's what he uses 100%. That's all he uses.
Yes.
And it works for him.
It works for him. So find something that works for you. I don't think you need to switch just because there's a shiny new, not an object out there, but yeah.
The good part is they're so inexpensive that you can add it to your workflow with Lightroom or Photoshop.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Your next one.
All right. So one real quick thing about the eVoto AI is that it's cool because you could actually use it without buying it.
Yes.
Right.
You only pay when you say,
export.
I want to export this and give it to somebody.
So it's something that's worth going on and just downloading it, right? To try it. If you like it, we do have a code. We can actually put that in the comments below. But let's see. Next. Is it cheating to heavily edit? Speaking of editing, right? Is it cheating to heavily edit?
Speaking of cheating, because I was reading your question.
Is it cheating to heavily edit your photos? Where's the line between art and reality? Yes. That was Mark from Wisconsin. Yes and no. I guess it depends on what the end use of that photo is, right? So if that photo is for you and it's personal art, there is no line.
No.
Right? The line doesn't need to be blurred. It's just, there's no line.
Yeah.
Because that's for you. If you're creating an image that is a portrait of somebody, if you're doing a senior portrait, if you're doing a wedding, if you're doing, family portraits, commercial photography, I think there is a very, very sharp line, right? Like over editing, you blurred reality.
Yes.
Right.
I always used to, when I would teach Photoshop around the country, here was the phrase, and I'm sure I didn't come up with this, and it was the ethics of retouching was, if it is permanent, leave it, right?
Yep.
If freckles, things like that, moles, if it's temporary, remove
it.
But yeah, when you're starting to suddenly change the shape of people's faces, plumping their lips, doing all these things, there's nothing wrong with it in the right context. But if you shot a senior and you did that without them saying, could you please make me look not like myself? I don't know. That's where I struggle.
And the problem is just what I was saying about, making your photo stand out. The pictures look so good. It's hard to distinguish between reality and not. But if that person that you're taking that picture for gets it back and says, is that me? It doesn't look like me.
And I've done that to where somebody has done that and it made me go.
It makes you feel bad.
Yeah, I did push too far.
Because then you feel like I'm a lousy photographer because I couldn't create a great image of them. I had to create it in the computer.
Yeah. Going back to the beginning of our show, are you excited about 2025? I am, because every year I feel like I'm becoming a better photographer.
I agree with you.
And less of a really good retoucher or a really good Photoshopper.
Yep.
It's a better photographer.
Okay. What do we got coming up next? I'm glad it's your turn because I'm going to have another piece of this.
All right. This one, they're going to know exactly who asked this question, right? What camera should I buy for my child? I believe their child was 11 years old. So I have an 11-year-old that wants a camera, or we're thinking of getting them one for Christmas. What do you suggest? So what do you suggest for an 11-year-old?
Fisher-Price makes a great little camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't give your kid a cell phone.
So here's, you got asked that question.
Yeah.
So if I got asked that question, what I would say, go into the used gear market, buy them a used DSLR. And a lot of you guys are going to go, whoa, you love mirrorless. Get them a used DSLR. And I'll tell you why. Because the DSLR makes you think.
Yes.
The mirrorless allows you to cheat. Right? So, as I can see everything changing through my viewfinder with the mirrorless, The DSLR, I have to think, take the picture, change, think, take the picture, switch.
Unless you're just trying to like develop just a love of general photography.
Yep.
So I told her the same thing. I said, you know, go out and look at a used camera, keep it in the same ecosystem you have. That way, if your kid likes, you know, photography, you can go, here, throw my lens on there. But the other thing is, and I don't even, they might not even make it anymore, but, you know, like Fuji used to make this really good, like, action camera. Not like action kind of GoPro, but, you know, like a point and shoot that could go underwater and it was sturdy and things like that. And, you know, if you're just trying to develop that love of photography where you're just like, I just want them to just fall in love with taking pictures, you can find something like that point and shoot. It's getting harder to find point and shoots. But the cool thing is these ones now, you can go out in the rain, you can go underwater while they're swimming in the swimming pool, in the ocean, and they can take photos and get super excited about photography.
Yeah. So I've seen like some of the Nikon gear that was just current last year sell like for like $500 in these, you know, DSLRs.
Yeah.
Or less.
Or less.
So Canon too.
Yep.
It's worth grabbing. So
yeah,
that's what I would do.
Even if you're looking to upgrade, man, now is the time, because if you're going, yeah, my budget doesn't allow me for these high-end new cameras, man, people are dumping their ones simply because people with the means are going, hey, the Mark III came out, I'm getting rid of my Mark II. There's nothing wrong.
I've seen some killer D850s going for really cheap, which is still one of the best cameras in the world.
Yeah.
What do I got next here? What is the most underrated piece of camera gear that every photographer should have?
You going to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I actually alluded to it earlier. The spider holster.
Yep.
Like, it's seriously, I keep seeing people going, I won't even say the brand name. I love carrying my camera right in the front of my chest. I love that I can hang it off my backpack. You know what? I love just all of those things, but I love the fact with my spider holster, it hangs on my waist. We have to tell people this all the time. It doesn't slip on your belt. It is its own belt that sits on your hip, so it's not pulling down your pants. And it's all about having my hands free, right? You and I used to be like the biggest evangelists for the R strap. But how many walls have you banged?
Oh, way too many.
How many kids have gotten that
walking down the aisle
shoved into their eyeball, the lens, because I walk by and the little kids next to me, and it's just a nightmare. But the spider holster is, equipment-wise, consistently my favorite piece of photo gear.
Okay, here's mine that's the most, you know, underrated piece of photo gear. It's the tripod. I think everybody should be using it. Just kidding.
Where is this going?
You know what I think it is?
What's that?
The lowly speed light.
There you go.
Yep, the lowly speed light. Like we go through this every 6 months, so bi-yearly like revelation of speed lights, right? So, you know, we're Westcott Top Pros. We use all the Westcott product, but like we love our big lights. But then every 6 months we go, hell, let's just try shooting something just with a speed light.
And we always want to be going, why don't we do that?
We did that last Saturday. We had a speed light workshop where we could only shoot with speed light. And the thing was, it was on camera.
Yeah, it wasn't.
We weren't allowed to take it off, right? The shots we got were amazing. Like check out some of these shots. I mean, they were incredible.
Every shot we took that day blew my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, the speed light, I think it is the most undervalued piece of equipment out there.
Yeah, I think those pictures, they speak for themselves.
They do.
Like
they do.
Can do.
What you got?
My last one.
Okay. Wow. This goes.
Okay. I actually have 6, but I'm only going to give you 5 because we said only 5. So, why do you like the 85 millimeter? And it's funny because if you don't know us, you'd be going, what are you talking about? You love the 85. Like, we do workshops a couple times a month, so we always have people around us. And you and I have the last year been like, check out the one I took with my 85. People are like, why do you guys love that?
You're like, shut up.
Why? But they're like, why do you love that so much? They're like, I've tried it. I don't like it. So why do I love the 85?
Why do you love the 85?
You know,
please
tell
me why you love the 85.
I fell in love with the 85.
Here comes a romance story.
About 5 or 6 years ago. And you were there when it happened.
I was there.
When I fell in love.
The bromance happened.
WPPI, man. You said, hey, check out that Sigma. They just came out with this art lens, this 1.5.
Because I've been shooting like that 85 for a while.
Yeah,
You were poo-pooing it.
because I was like, I loved shooting, more like that 35, a 24. I love it a little bit wider. And you were like, you would love it. And I put it on my camera and I went, there was a model in the booth, the Sigma booth, and I went click, made an adjustment, click, and I froze. And you went,
You okay?
what do you think? And I can't believe my camera just took that photo. Right? And when I went back to the hotel,
She had good gear.
and I downloaded it, I went, I can't believe my camera took that picture. It was that good. So that's when it started. But there's something magical also about that focal length. I love the compression of it. I've always been a big, 70 to 200. I love that 200 end. But something about that 85 range and that now shooting to 1.2, there's a magic that happens. And that's really what it is. It's hard to explain to people when you say, most people just in photography go, oh, you mean the blurry stuff in the background? And we'd argue, is it bokeh or bokeh or however we're going to, but here's what it really is. It's that fall off. It's the transition from sharp to out of focus.
Yep. It's
When you have that 1.2, 1.4, there's a transition that is so smooth and so natural feeling to your brain. It just looks beautiful.
And I think 3D.
2.8 looks fantastic. F4, they're all apertures that I use all the time. But if I can swing that 1.2, again, that's all I can say. Magic happens.
Okay, let me tell you why I love the 85. And I love it because I have to. I have no other choice. There's a problem with my 85.
What's that?
It's glued to my camera. I think somebody spilled some super glue on that. I can't seem to take it off my camera. And that's sarcastic, right? Obviously it comes off. But it really doesn't. It never comes off because I just love it. I love it for everything.
It fits your style of shooting. And it's for me, I feel like that's for me. It fits my style. So maybe you are someone that is, I love the 35. There's nothing. We're not saying, 85 is better. But I will
like
say
the 35. I don't like the 50.
Yeah, it's because we struggle making a composition.
I do.
Like at 50.
The 85 just fits my head. It's in my head space of I can see the picture before I take it.
And I know they're already saying, I have a 135. Oh, I mean, that's a beautiful.
It's a beautiful one. Well, I like it a lot. But
I found shooting the 135 Plena is I was finding I already have to get back pretty far.
Yeah, you have to step
to get my style for 85. I had to step way back. Yep. And remember, we were kind of fighting over the 85 and the 135 in Hawaii. We were teaching for Nikon there. And in the booth, you kept going, give me that back. And I'd put the 135 and I was like crying, like, I can't get back far. Like to get what I wanted. So
hopefully that answered that question.
Yeah. What's your last question?
Last question is, are there any third-party lenses as good? Are there any third-party lenses just as good as brand name lenses? Before we answer that, don't forget to stay till the end because we're going to talk about the stocking stuffers everybody needs.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay, I'm going to eat some more while you're...
Eat some more. So, yes, I think there are some third-party lenses that are as good, just as good as the brand name lenses. Because it's brand name does not make it good. So let's put that caveat in there, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell me that there's an 85 that's as good as my Nikon 85 1.2 in third party? No, there's not.
Not even.
There's just not.
Yeah.
Right.
I think both Sony and Canon have equivalents that are amazing.
Yep. Yeah. But in the third party, is there a 35 millimeter lens in the third party that's as good as a name brand 35? 100%?
Yeah, from what I've seen, yeah.
Right. So I think it's kind of a mix. We've made the decision this year, because we were using a lot of Tamron lenses on our Nikon gear before, but we made the decision this year that we are going pretty much all native lenses, all Nikon lenses.
Yep.
Just because we know that they're designed to work perfectly with the Nikon gear.
Correct.
And they're a new lens setup. So we have, 24 to 70s, 7200s, 85s, like beautiful, beautiful pieces of equipment.
So we're shooting our cameras basically almost every day. And so a lot of you watching are going, I just enjoy photography. Don't ever make somebody make you feel like you're lesser a photographer using a third party.
Not at all.
I use third party lenses If probably the majority of my lenses were third party. Why? It was financial.
Cheaper.
They're cheaper lenses, and I'm half Dutch, and I'm very cheap. Right? No,
You should be like over full blown.
the other half is German, and I believe I know everything.
Yes, okay.
So, but yeah, I just don't let anybody bully you into the idea of like it's lesser to have a third lens. No, you shoot what you can afford.
Yep.
And enjoy photography.
I'm glad you said that, because that is one issue that I have with native brand name lenses. They are expensive. And if you're a Canon shooter, I'm sorry, but wow, you got to spend a lot of money.
Yep.
It's really, really crazy expensive. But yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. These were awesome questions.
That's a good question.
I love that. I'm going to take another bite of sushi here, and then we're going to get to our stocking stuffers.
All right. Next, what are you going to stuff in your stocking?
All right, let's find out what Santa's stuffing in the stocking this year. So these are the things that we think make great stocking stuffers for every photographer.
Okay.
Everyone. So I'll tell you what Santa should put in the stocking for you this year. And this is a pretty simple one, right? So pull it out of the stocking here. It's the Zeiss wipes from
Zeiss.
From Zeiss. How about that? No, the lens wipes from Zeiss. So they come just like a little wet nap that you get when you eat the barbecue, right? So these things are incredibly inexpensive. So it's less than $6 for a box of 100 of them at Walmart, right? So they come out like that. But if you're a photographer that shoots with glasses,
ooh, yes,
these are the best wipes.
I clean more of my glasses with them than I clean my lenses with them.
But they work incredibly well to clean the front element of your camera. So we shoot almost exclusively outdoor photography, right? Location photography in some pretty dusty environments. Yeah. Oh, there they are. I can see you. But these things are worth their weight in gold. So they're made by Zeiss, right? Zeiss makes glass, right? They make a lot of really great lenses and all that kind of stuff. These are perfectly safe to use on your camera gear.
Yeah.
If you ever try to use a little wipey on your camera lens,
there's a good time you can take the coating.
You'll take the coating right off of it, or you'll put a coating onto it through the wipey with the lotions and stuff that are in these. So these are perfectly safe. They are great. So you get a box of 100 of them for less than $6 at Walmart. Yeah, these things will last.
Or your favorite online retailer, you can get them delivered to your house. But
yes,
we have no stock in this Zeiss company.
No,
this is just things we said, man, what do you love?
I love those things.
I'm going to pull out two things.
Here, by the way, here's one to clean your.
There you go. Because it's actually kind of the same thing. So the first thing is a neutral density filter. So this particular one is made by Case.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a 3-stop neutral density. I use this quite a bit. Anytime I'm shooting outside in the daytime.
You must have a small lens, though.
Yeah, but look at how tiny it is. No, so this here is a sensor lens. So what happens is I take my lens off my camera.
Yep.
This lays over. It's made just for my camera.
Filter.
Sorry, filter.
Yep.
The filter sits on my Z8. It fits right in front of the sensor. This one also, my Z6 II uses the same one. So here's the beauty.
You're just scared though that it's going to hurt your sensor?
It doesn't touch my sensor. It's made.
Because that's going to be the question.
It is. Yep. It's designed to just fit right in where it needs to fit. But here's the beautiful part of it is that I have that giant 85 1.2 on my camera. And if I had to put a screw-on filter on the front, now I'm switching to a smaller lens or a longer lens with a different red size. I got to get another filter. I've got to get an adapter. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work for my photography to go, well, let me find an adapter in my bag. So put that on your sensor, a sensor filter. These are fantastic. By Case, I think these things were somewhere upwards around $50 to $60. And oh my goodness.
It works great.
They work phenomenal. So there's all different sizes.
But don't forget that you have it in there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Nobody would ever do that, would they?
So I shoot all the time, but I still forget. So don't let anybody tell you like, you're not a pro.
Why are your settings so different than mine?
Yeah, exactly.
Mine are so dark. Yeah, guess why?
That's why.
So great one. Great.
Yep. So I pulled out two just because here's a traditional screw-on filter. And this is my neutral density that I believe this one is also this one actually is a 6-stop.
Okay.
But this is a screw-on one, but this one is a breakthrough technology. And our Breakthrough Photography is the brand.
Okay. I was like, wow, what kind of technology you have in that thing?
No, Breakthrough Photography is the brand name. If you want to find an incredible neutral density filter, if you like the screw-on type, man, take a look at Breakthrough Photography. These things, they tested them to where it makes no color shifts. It does everything. They're phenomenal. They're much pricier than the case.
Yeah.
But, if you're kind of more old school and you go, nope, I need this for this particular lens. And this was the one that I actually bought for my 85.
Yeah.
So
just in case you were wondering how to look that up, it's KASC, not CASE. So KASE.
all right, I'm going to clean my glasses.
Clean your glasses. Okay. So here's my second stocking stuffer. Now, I talked about the $6 stocking stuffer. I'm going to go to the other end of the spectrum.
Okay.
So this is for people that like to stuff it with something that's a luxury stuffer. Well, talked about this earlier today.
Beautiful.
But the beautiful speed light. And I'm saying this is a stocking stuffer because it slips so nicely down into the stocking, right? But this thing, man, again, it is like the perfect stocking stuffer because it's a small in size gift. But I just love the speed light, right? And I've been using it more and more. I was talking about our Revelation every 6 months, but lately it's just been like, I can use it for a background light. I can use it for a main light. I can use it for all kinds of different stuff. I just think that this is a fantastic piece of gear that should be in everybody's bag. And now, after our Revelation 6 months ago, these are in our bag
all the time,
right?
Always.
Because that way, and there's sometimes that we're always talking about shooting with light, right? There's a lot of times we don't shoot with light. I did an event last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was over in a private event. I had this in my bag, right? I normally wouldn't have because I'm not going to bring my big lights to this thing. I had to be very mobile. This worked out great. So speed light.
Yeah.
And in particular, I got to tell you, this is a Westcott speed light. Of course, we're going to talk about Westcott. We love the Westcott gear. This thing is phenomenal. So we have the FJ82 in my hand. You got an FJ80
SE because I'm Dutch.
You're Dutch and it's cheaper, right?
Same speed light.
This one has a digital display on the back.
Yeah, you have the touch screen. Mine has buttons.
So his buttons, but he wanted to save $50, so he got the cheaper version.
That's right.
But these guys are awesome. The one thing that people have had questions, and I know we're not doing our question and answer time, but I'm going to go back into it, is this battery.
Yes.
People had the FJ80. This is the FJ82. FJ80, the battery was terrible.
Yeah.
Westcott, you didn't hear me say that. They know. There was big time issues where I would take 50 shots and I would need to recharge.
And the next time you use it, you'd get 100 shots. And the next time you get 20 shots.
This thing, I can go 500 shots.
Yeah.
Not 500 full power. I can do about 300 full power.
I've not worn mine down on a shot.
But yeah, so it works great. This charges through their charger, which is a USB-C charger. So I can charge it with any kind of USB-C cord and it works great. So FJ82, the flash to get.
Okay.
Love it. If you have any questions about any of the Westcott gear, also send us a DM. We're happy to answer any questions. And we've even got some way to save some money on Westcott gear.
There you go. So my last one. This is one that
and I noticed you have the Westcott stocking.
I do. So this is something all of you already maybe have.
Oh, glasses.
But exactly. A case, no. So if you're a photographer or you have a photographer in your life that needs something, they will never say, why'd you get me that? So this is just a battery pack.
Little battery brick.
Little battery brick. And so this one's a little bit larger. This is the one I travel internationally with. Mm-hmm. I can recharge my phone 5 times from almost completely dead with this pack right here. And there are many times, you get on an airplane and you're like, oh yeah, every one of them has the thing in the back of the seat until it's the plane I get on. And I go,
where is it?
Where do I?
Or it doesn't work.
The plane before that I didn't charge up because it was the short flight. I get into the long flight and go, there's nowhere to charge my phone.
Pull this out. So this thing can charge the battery
on that. This is why every photographer needs it, because everything pretty much these days with our new gear charges like USB-C. And so there's enough charge in this for almost any piece of equipment that you
have. You're right. That is a great stocking stuffer. And they're pretty inexpensive now, like $50 or something.
They are for a large one. Yeah. You can get smaller ones. I think I saw at Costco, they had like double packs of.
Yeah.
If they have ones now that you could I think you bought one.
I did.
But you just lay your phone on.
Yeah. So
you do the quick charge.
Yep. So if you've got, the what do they call it? MagSafe for QI for Android. Yeah. It actually locks right onto that and charges it.
Yeah. So
remotely. So
If you don't know what to get somebody who's a photographer, get them a power brick.
That's awesome, man. So hey, if there's stocking stuffers that we did not stuck into,
That should have been shoved
there we go. I couldn't get the words out.
Stocking.
Stuck in your stock. That's a hard one. But if you know something that you think is a better stocking stuffer, or you want to see stocked in or stuffed in your stocking, let us know in those comments. We'd love to hear that. But yeah, I think that's a good conversation for today. We've probably been jabbering for a long time.
We have been. So
if you stayed this long,
we appreciate
it. We appreciate you. And always, we want you to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can be notified every time that we put out something new. That's right.
But more importantly, what we want you to remember is don't be lazy.
That's right. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. And I hope that you have a great 2025.
All right. Merry Christmas.